A faction of the royal family has traditionally crowned Prince Simakade Zulu as the AmaZulu King. It's despite other members of the family and government officials recognizing his brother, King Misuzulu kaZwelithini, as the monarch. Well, for more on this, we're joined by cultural expert and Newzroom African Institute President, Professor Velaphi Mkhize. Good evening to you, Prof, and thank you so much for your time tonight. It is a very, very complex situation to try and traverse, but perhaps you can help us. Is there a clear answer to who the king of the AmaZulu is right now?
Thank you, Kathy, and thank you very much to the listeners of the Newzroom Afrika. I'm happy that you started by saying it's quite a very complicated thing. And if you remember very well, I've been in the interviews with you on the very same channel where initially we were talking about Misuzulu as the person with all the rights to be a king, as also he has already been given the seat, and also preparations are going ahead. But you see, when you go back a little bit, Kathy, you will find that here we are faced with a number of issues. First of all, we are faced with the issue of the history, the tradition, isiko and isintu. I'll explain that. The kingdom itself, politics, and privilege or patronage and democracy. Why I'm saying this? Because if you take Simakade for argument's sake and the people who are following him, I don't think that those people are stupid enough. They know exactly what they are doing. And at the same time, they are actually capitalizing on certain gaps, which I will actually allude to here. Let me start with the issue of the history. Now, if you go back from King Shaka, you will find that the ascendancy to the throne in the Zulu kingdom has been very difficult. It has been through wars, fightings, and so on. He was actually killed. He killed Sigujana, his brother, to be a king. And also he himself, he was actually assassinated by his own brothers. And if you go down also to the history, a lot of things has been happening, the fightings and so on and so on. That is what I'm actually talking about, the history. Which now, if you look into our African tradition, those are the things that should have been cleansed in order not to take place again and also to be repeated. Now, if I'm coming to the issue of the tradition, now, let's listen carefully here. Simakade is the eldest son of the late King Zwelithini. Nobody can dispute that. He is Inkosana. But now, in our African tradition, particularly the Zulu tradition, is that you find that there is a difference between Inkosana and Indlalifa. Inkosana is the firstborn, but Indlalifa is appointed by the family. It doesn't necessarily mean that Inkosana becomes an Indlalifa. Those are the issues that we are faced with, of which it might happen that he is actually, all what he's doing, he is actually capitalizing on that, regardless of how was Misuzulu born by his mother, whose lobolo was paid by the nation. Now, on the other side, if you look into the Zulu kingdom, there's a number of issues here. You might find that there are effects of colonization here. Look at that the Zulu kingdom has been highly contested even before. You take Tejuayo, for instance, who was imprisoned in Cape Town. You take Dinizulu, for instance, to St. Helena. You take Cyprian, who was told by the Botha government that he must not actually go against their own government. So there's already been a lot of politics, which drives me to a point that, what about the issue that maybe here we are faced with people who are actually fighting through Isiko and Isintu, but at the same time looking at the issue of the privilege and patronage. In other words, we mustn't actually overlook the issue of the politics on the other side of the province itself. So what I'm trying to say here is that, yes, we can say Misuzulu is the right king, of which I agree, that is fine. But it's difficult now to say what's going to happen, as now they have already taken Simakade to the throne. Yes, we can go ahead, but even if Misuzulu becomes the king, yes, he will be coronated, but he will have to address a lot of challenges, from the history to the tradition to politics to everything. Because today it's very, very difficult to say, are you sincere in what you are doing, or is it because of privileges that you are fighting for, or maybe patronage, or whatever the case may be. So it might happen that Simakade is looking at these gaps that are there. Yes, we agree that there is a law of 2019 of the traditional Khoisan, whatever, and so on. But these are the issues that sometimes you have to look at. I must highlight, Katie, that you see people like Dr. Bongani Ngulunga. He wrote a very interesting paper where he was saying all along the so-called KwaZulu kingdom and so on has been very inconsistent, you know. So, which shows that if something is inconsistent, it's very easy, therefore, to look into the gaps and also take your chances.
Well, Prof, I mean, I think you've put it so succinctly there for us tonight. Let me end off then with this question. On the issue of Indlalifa, does that mean that because Prince Simakade has been taken through this process by members of the family, and you talked about the issue of tradition and how being elected by the family is also a crucial step of one's ascension to the throne. What does that mean then for the other members of the family who support Misuzulu? And, you know, is it possible that you have two Indlalifas?
No. It's not possible. There is only and only one Indlalifa. Now, you see, let me go back a little bit. The mistake that I think, if ever, was never done. When the late king passed away, first people who were supposed to be called were the Undlunkulus. And also talk to Undlunkulus, the Undlunkulu drives it down to Amazinyane. The other thing that you must not overlook here is the good work that is being done and performed by King Mangosuthu Buthelezi. Also, you might find that what is actually happening on the Simakade side, it's another very subtle fight with the good work that is being done by King Mangosuthu Buthelezi. That is why I'm saying that there is a whole of mixed bag here. There's a lot of politics here. So those who are actually supporting Misuzulu, they are supporting Misuzulu because of, one, that yes, his mother's lobolo was paid by the nation, which has been actually alluded to for many years, for many interviews. And also on that side, he has already been endorsed by the government, by our president. But at the same time, no one can say, okay, fine, Simakade, let's not be emotional here. Simakade, what he's doing is wrong. He is the only one with his small group who knows what they are actually doing and on what are they capitalizing, as I have already alluded on some of the points here.
Prof, I really wish we had more time. Professor Mkhize there, as you heard, really giving us, really great explanation of how things unfold in the AmaZulu royal family, but also just then how we can interpret part of what we're seeing unfold. Thanks for your time tonight, Prof. Mkhize. We'll leave it there.